Good evening. Welcome back to Soul Gardens. I just want to come on real quick. Well, I don't know if I know how to do real quick, but I'll do my best. I have to go to bed. As the late great Chris Cornell said, to be yourself is all that you can do. There's nobody else like you. You're the only you. So don't try to be somebody else. Look at, I'm 50 something. This is a 50 something year old's bedroom. At least part of it anyway. Oh wait, don't forget the ceiling. There's stuff all over my room. Why? I don't know. Because that's who I am. There's a whole nother side too, but you'd think I was 15. Why can't I grow up? Yeah, anybody else ever feel that way? How come other adults, quote unquote, seem to have their shit together and you still feel like you're wandering? You still feel like you're trapped in a teenager's body or younger. Some people say you evolve as far as like your most traumatic experiences from childhood. Some say that. I don't know, I've evolved quite a bit and changed and grown, and I've lived multiple lifetimes in one lifetime. In the universe, God willing, I'll live more. But some of those years, it was a struggle trying to find myself, who I was, who I believed I was, not what I was told I was. You know what I mean? People projected who they wanted me to be on me, what I should be, who I should be. I never really fit. It took me many, many years and many difficult circumstances, tragic circumstances, heartbreaking ones, to come to understand me better. So even though some of those experiences were devastating and traumatic, not only did it bring me closer to God, the divine, it brought me closer to myself. Sometimes on our path, people cross our path, come our way and try to rewrite your story. They invade your energy and your frequency so much that you start to question who you are. Sometimes they make you forget. You're just so caught up in what's going on around you. You're being told so many things about yourself. that sometimes you start to believe it, even if it isn't true. Sometimes it takes decades to reclaim the you you're supposed to be, who you always were, to reclaim your narrative. You start to question your memories. You thought you remembered it, went down a certain way, but people convinced you it didn't. But you were there. You know what happened. They're so good at manipulating and twisting things, and there's all those terms, gaslighting. I don't know. It took me going to therapy, believe it or not, to sit there. For 2 years, I went, because I was told it was all me. After 2 years, I realized, no, it wasn't. No, it fucking wasn't. I was berated and belittled and conditioned into submission, not only of my voice, but my own mind, my own truth, my own memories, my own experience. I hope this is making sense. And I know some of you out there can relate to that. Is I going crazy? Maybe it is me. Well, I'll go to therapy and find out. Because you know what? If it is me, I want to fix it. That's what I thought. Geez, am I really like that? Do I really do those things? Well, I don't want to do that to anyone. I'm going to go take care of it, be the best me I can be for my family. And after 2 years, I realized I always knew I wasn't perfect, so let's point that out. But I was not nearly the devil I was made out to be. Not in the least bit. I was actually a really awesome person the whole time. Just made to feel shitty by other people that felt shitty about themselves. So to elevate themselves, they had to make me feel shitty. To the point where I thought I was no good for anybody. So what's the point of even being here if I'm just terrible to be around? But my heart knew better. Like my soul was like, don't listen to the bullshit. But my mind, my emotions were just hijacked, for lack of a better word. And it wasn't until I sat through therapy, realizing that most of the time in therapy, I was helping my therapist out with her problems because we'd start to talk about mine and my anxieties, my OCD, my PTSDs, my depressions. For anybody out there who's ever been suicidal, and people say, oh, you're just telling people for attention. No, it's a cry for help. I don't know why I'm bringing that up, but somebody out there needs to hear this. If they're doing it for attention, then it's still a cry for help. If you can't be the one to help them, then refer them somewhere they can get help. Because even if somebody's using that as a manipulation tool, you're not responsible for that. But if somebody uses that as a weapon or a tactic, and they still need help in some way. Whenever there's death involved, it's not a casual thing to take lightly. Something deeper going on. And you might not be the one qualified to make a judgment call. Whether it's a legit cry for help or just an intention-seeking one. Why don't you let some of the professionals figure that out? Give them a phone number or something. Or offer to take them down. Depending on your situation, we're all different. But most people don't want to kill themselves. Most people just want their pain to stop. So if we can figure that out, we can save a lot of people. But I realized that I wasn't as toxic as I was made out to be. I wasn't as screwed up mentally as I was made out to be. That I was fighting for my own mind, my own experiences, my own thoughts that were being hijacked and changed. And I was made to think that I was delusional. Even when other people validated my thoughts and experiences. No, Mom, you're not like that. Don't listen to him. Years and years of being in certain environments can have profound effects on people's mental health. And it's not until they get some distance that, and the smoke clears, that they start to get a better grasp of the reality they lived in and how unhealthy it really was. And that most of the time, you were probably just trying to get through it the best you can for your children, for your relatives, for yourself. Keep the peace. Keep the facade up of the happy relationship or the stable relationship, even though it really wasn't stable. You did your best to make it stable. But there always seemed to be another shoe that dropped. Just when you thought it was going to go okay. In your home, or you should have a safe place in your environment, right? You didn't feel safe at all. You felt safer sitting outside in your car and going in your own house, sitting in the parking lot, at work, or grocery store. Because you knew when you walked through that door, the weight, the anxiety just thinking about walking through that door was starting to get unbearable. And so oppressive you couldn't breathe. You knew if you went in that door, you were going to die in there. Maybe not physically, but to you, out before you walk through that door, you knew you were going to lose as soon as you did. And year after year changes a person. But you know what? That therapist, just listening, didn't have to say anything. I mean, she did a lot of talking, but it was about herself. Here I am giving her advice. And I'm like, this happened and that happened and this. And she was explaining to me the cycle of abuse. It was physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, sexual. There's all types of abuse, financial. Holy shit. For 30 years, I lived through all of those. And the 20 years before that. Some people don't make it out alive. So I feel blessed. I am lucky to still be standing here because there are many who haven't made it this far. They were killed by their own hand or by somebody else's. Or by a lack of judgment and a frantic state of mind. Or disordered state of mind. So if you're my age and you still get a smile out of your Grateful Dead t-shirt, your Tupac shirt, your Nirvana shirt, your Hooters old shirt, whatever it is. There's nothing wrong with that. Sometimes it's hard to get rid of those old things, or that music, or that whatever, because it was your companion during hard times when you were a child. Got you through the night when your parents weren't maybe the best to you. And then when you found yourself older in romantic relationships, when you found those people weren't the best to you either. Those music heroes came in saving the day still. But I do notice sometimes when you listen to certain music from back in the day, depending on what trauma, sad, or whatever event was going on that it helped get you through, it kind of puts you back in that old mindset. And it can make you sad or angry or anxious again, especially if you didn't heal those traumas and stuff. You know what I mean? Sometimes we have to be careful what we listen to and what we watch. It puts us in a negative mindset. And if you're trying to grow and elevate yourself, listening to certain songs and watching certain shows and being around certain people from our past doesn't really do us any good. Just pulls us back into that sadness, that fear, that anger, that depression. Sometimes we do it and we need it for a second, but don't get stuck there. We're moving forward. Forward, onward. Don't get stuck in the past. There's nothing there for you. It's done, it's over. Some things in our past are still affecting our present, and some we have absolutely no control over. There's only we have control over some of it, but not the whole thing. We can't control what other people do, but we can control what we do and how we react to it, right? Not an easy thing to do, by any means. It takes practice. Sometimes we're on a roll and we're doing really good, and then other times we feel like we're taking 10 steps back. But if you keep the commitment to growth, keep that commitment to yourself, that love of self, you'll get back working on yourself from a place of experience and wisdom. And you'll remember the triggers and the slippery slopes, people, places, and things that you hung around that got a hold of you for a second and you forgot that you were on a healing journey. Sometimes a healing journey, you're tired of healing. Can I be healed already? When am I done working on myself? I'm tired of it. Does anybody even realize that I am? Does anybody see the difference? Or am I doing it all for nothing? You ask yourself this stuff sometimes. You get discouraged. You get tired. That's why you need the right people around you. It's so important. Because when the other one's tired, you can give them a boost, motivation. And then when you get tired, they'll do it for you. That's why it's so important to have the right people around you. People who will tell you the truth with love. Not because they want to hurt you, but because they want you to elevate. How are they going to help you if they lie to you? Or they, what's the word, placate to you. don't want to make you feel bad, so they kind of sugarcoat things. Hey, Elise, you said you were going to quit vaping. You still haven't quit vaping yet. How come? Well, this happened and that happened, and I tried, but it didn't stick. Because it's my go-to, and I know, I just didn't do it long enough, and whatever, Well, that's okay. It's okay, Elise. I don't have a lot of friends, so I talk to myself in second person. A lot. Especially when I'm really having a moment. It's okay, Elise. It's okay. You'll get through this. It's okay. And you start vaping again. When you're ready, you'll do it. You'll try again. Sometimes if you can't find the right people, you gotta be your own best friend, your own cheering section. It's hard when you're in dark places, isn't it? That's why you need that one person outside of yourself that you can call when you're in dark places to show you the light, or just let you vent. You don't even have to say anything. Just to be able to get it out to another living soul is so therapeutic, without judgment. Sometimes we want advice and sometimes we don't. We just want to be heard. We just want to be seen. We just want to be able to get it out into the universe and have somebody say it's okay. I love you. And I'm here. What do you need? What do you need? What do you need? Because sometimes, people, we like to help. As people like me, you want to say, hey, I can do this or I can do that. And sometimes people don't receive help very well. They have their own traumas related to that, their own reasons for it. Deeply embedded. And sometimes you offer all these things and they're still rejected, and you take it kind of personal sometimes. Well, what's wrong with me? Like, why don't you want my help? Sometimes maybe all we can say is, what do you need me to do? Instead of coming up with a bunch of ideas. And they still might say nothing. I don't need anything. And that's something for them to heal, right? Asking for help. Because a lot of people don't want to ask for help because they don't want to seem weak. They don't want to owe anybody. Or they don't want to have to be let down. There's a few different reasons, right? Most people, though, when they help out, unless they're just assholes, just want reciprocation. If I help you out, if there's ever an opportunity for you to help me out, cool. If not, cool. I wanted to help anyway. No expectations. It's hard not to put expectations on things. I know. I know. But do you get pleasure out of helping somebody? Does it make you feel good? So you didn't lose nothing. You actually gained joy. Sometimes we lose our joy. We have to push ourselves to find it again. I'm telling you. Your mind wants to protect you, but sometimes it's working against you. And unless you can discern the difference between your mind telling you things versus your intuition and your soul telling you things, you can dig yourself into a deep rabbit hole and sometimes not be able to get out. So it's good to have that other human that you trust. It's looking out for you and will tell you things whether you want to hear them or not. Because they're looking out for your highest good. Not for your approval. They're looking out for the truth out of love. It's rare to have those people that you can go to and say, hey, this is a situation. Was I wrong? Just couldn't have that person to look at you in your face and say, yeah, you were. What are you going to do about it? Hey, you didn't mean to, but just make amends. If you can. Or you're just ignorant. You didn't mean to. But yeah, I was kind of wrong. Try not to do it again. Try to react, think, do whatever differently. Sometimes we don't know what we're doing is wrong or hurting anyone because nobody has the balls to come to us and tell us. They let us stay in our little fantasy land. Well, geez, if I'm damaging someone, I would like to know. I would like to reflect on that and see what I could change about it. Or, do I agree that I'm hurting them? Do I not agree? From somebody else's perspective, it might be a hurtful thing to do. So I want to be careful not to push that again inadvertently. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? Just gotta catch my drift. Some people, no matter how much we elevate ourselves, change, work, strive, study, bleed, it's never going to be good enough. Ever. And that's not a you problem. It's a they problem. Sometimes you gotta learn how to shake it off. Some people you will never please. All the blood, sweat, tears, sleepless nights. We all have. Dramatic moments that we've gone through. Trying to understand why they treat us so badly. When you know you're not bad. Like, you're not that awful person they make you out to be. You might be imperfect, yes. But some people just convince you that you're bad to make themselves feel superior. And you believed it when it wasn't even true. You might not be perfect, but most likely you are not the villain that they try to make you out to be. And a lot of times, maybe you do act like a monster. And sometimes people forget that you're acting like a monster because they created that monster within you. You're a product of your environment, or your conditioning, or your abuse, etc. Or you didn't become a monster until you started speaking your truth. And you found your voice again. And you took it back. And you started to use it. People don't like that. When they've beaten you down so hard to where you're silent and walking on eggshells, afraid to voice your concerns, opinions, feelings. When you start to assert yourself again and hold your ground and stand in your truth, and you speak what was real for you, now you're a monster. Now they slander you. Not just within the family or amongst the friends, but publicly. Social media, workplaces, schools. They try to sabotage you so they look better. Some of you out there know exactly what I'm talking about. And sometimes you're just too exhausted and beaten down to defend yourself. And your smear campaign was going on for a while you were trying to heal. Because you didn't have this 1 ounce of strength left to fight back for yourself. And there was nobody around to defend you. Where'd they all go? They abandoned you. Where are the voices that claim they loved you when you needed them? Nowhere to be found. Even if there's just that one person, there's usually eventually God puts somebody in your life. It gives you hope again. And shines a light in your dark places to find and recover the things within you that you've lost. That's a beautiful thing. That's why we need people in our lives that are authentic, that are true, have integrity, that are looking out for your highest good and theirs, and that of others. What's done in the dark will be brought to the light. Right? Who are you when other people aren't watching? Are you still the same you? Most of us can say, maybe. Yeah, mostly. But, maybe we're not so perfect at it, right? It's okay. I work on that all the time. Find people. Find that sounding board that resonates truth and not placates to your ego. Oh my God, you would never do anything wrong. Yeah, man, you're so badass. Fuck them. They're this, they're that. But it was really your fault. Wouldn't you want somebody to tell you the truth? Even if it sucks? I know some people have their own version of the truth. There's personal truths. There's material truths, mathematical truths, logical truths. And there's divine truth. Oh, so many truths. What's true? You know. You know in your heart and you know in your soul. You know the difference between your ego trying to get away with something, saying, wow, I was raised this way, and back, in my day and where I'm from, this is just, how you do things, and you're just different, and, we just have to accept that. Really? Because some truths are just true, whether you believe them or not. Be careful. I say this to myself too. Be careful that you're not following your ego's truth that's trying to protect you from pain, suffering, and owning up to your own shit. That's why a personal inventory is so important before you go to bed every day. I don't do it every day. I forget. But I overthink, so I'm constantly evaluating myself 24/7 while I'm thinking about the bills I gotta pay, while I'm thinking about what the kids are doing, what this person said to me, what I gotta do for that work, what my car's doing, what God thinks of me. Like, I can think about so much shit under 5 seconds, you wouldn't believe. So yeah, I'm constantly evaluating and scanning and watching, analyzing everything all the time. Hypervigilant. Yes, I know it's a trauma response. Someday I hope to be out of survival mode. Sometimes it, it comes and goes like the waves. My goal is to live more in peace than in survival mode, even if it never completely goes. It might always resonate a little bit stuck in there of, oh no, but what if it's been too nice for too long? What's going to happen? But I might not get it all cleared, that, conditioning and energy or whatever, that trauma response, but I'm going to freaking get most of it, damn it. I'm going to have more joyous times than miserable ones. At this point in my life, I still feel pretty useful and pretty old all at the same time. At this point in my life, I've had fleeting moments of joy and prolonged moments of misery, I guess, at some level. Or a meshing of the two. A weird sandwich going on in my head, I'm so happy about that. Oh, but that, dude, my son graduated from the Court Officer Academy, and they had wonderful speeches. The presenters that gave these speeches were on fire. And one of the chiefs said, you know what? Happiness is a choice. You can choose to be miserable and let everything bother you and make you sad and mad and upset and crazy. Or you can choose to be happy. What are you going to focus on? Like that old Native American proverb, the two wolves. One is angry and sad and mean, and the other one's happy and kind and, I don't know, spiritual, whatever. I don't know. More light in the analogy of happiness. Darkness has its place. So I'm not dissing the darkness. Me and the darkness are very well acquainted and quite close. Thank you. But just you got to pick up what I'm putting down. Basically, moral of the story, it's which one you feed more, right? Is the one that survives. Who's got the strength? What are you feeding more? What are you nurturing more? The grumpy old troll under the bridge? Or the sunshine on your shoulder? It's a choice. Happiness is a choice. I'm trying really hard to make that choice. It's not easy. Oh gosh, it's so not easy. And I'm not living by any means in the blissfully ignorant happiness. Denying any negativity. Well, that's just not reality. And that catches up to you in the end because you'll have all of your falsehoods of the perfect world shattered pretty quickly. There's light and dark, there's balance, right? And you can understand there's darkness there. If there wasn't darkness, you wouldn't understand the light, and vice versa, right? You kind of need the dualities to appreciate, If you're happy all the time, would you know when you're not? Contrast. The sadness, those sad moments really points out the happy ones, right? Well, where do you feel happy? It's inevitable. Sadness is always going to creep back in. There's always Look, there's always going to be bouts of tragedy. It's just life. It's part of our human experience, whether we like it or not. So even if we can't be like blissfully happy all the time, we have to go through pain or suffering and feel those things. I appreciate those moments too, because they teach me compassion and understanding and lessons I never would have learned in happiness. I mean, it's facts. Just like if you're in pain all the time, you miss out on the lessons, what it feels like to be happy. I mean, everything's a lesson. Holy fuck it. I mean, I'm just trying to have more good days than bad days nowadays. Can we do that? Is that okay? Balance? Can we outweigh the scales a little bit and tilt it more towards joy? Especially those of us who have had our fill of suffering and painful lessons. How about that, universe? And the new moon in Cancer today. Can we manifest more lessons in joy and in love and in happiness? Watching the bumblebee hanging by the flower, watching the squirrels chase each other, watching two lovers walking hand in hand in the park, looking into each other's eyes as they stop and give each other a kiss just 'cause they feel like it. Can we be happy about watching those moments? Can our heart hurt because we remember feeling that way once in our lives and now we don't have it? And then can we turn that longing and that pain that hits us? We're happy for the couple, don't get me wrong. But something in your heart is like, oh, I had that, I thought once. I remember that feeling. I want that feeling back. But this time I want it to stay. So many emotions in less than 5 seconds, right? Holy fuck, humans are fucked up and awesome at the same time. How do we do it? Look at that couple, aren't they cute? Oh, my heart hurts. I miss having somebody. Oh, wait, I still can. But this time I want it to last. This time I've grown. I've learned a lot. And I know I'll do better this time. Hope. Hope. There's always hope. Nobody can take that from you. Chris is gone. Chester and Chris are gone. Pac is gone. Grandma's gone. My friend in high school's gone. Someday we're going to be gone. at least in this form. How about we spend our energy and our time focusing on doing what we can to make it the rest of our time left epic. Yes, epic in the height of climax. Whether it's skydiving, crazy banging that the fucking plaster's falling off the ceiling, down to just sitting and watching a magnificent sunset with somebody you love. Equally awesome. Equally awesome. When you write the perfect poem, the words coming together. When you paint that beautiful picture. When you pick those flowers and make a bouquet and you hand it to someone and it makes them smile. It's banging. Nothing better. The big things, the magnificent things. They're so memorable. The trip that you took, I don't know, to Vegas with your friends, and it was fun. Such a good time. And those sand castles you made on the beach when your children were little, and the wonder in their eyes. Just as awesome. The touch of someone's hand on your face. Done in love and understanding. Precious. Just as awesome. We gotta start changing our perspectives. That's all I'm saying. Turn those frowns upside down. Take the script and flip it. Change what you can change. And do it from a place of purity, of intention, of joy. And be persistent as fuck. Don't let people discourage you. Don't. Because they'll try. Because they won't understand what the fuck you're doing. Because they're not like you. They don't get you. Most people are not on your vibe. You're a nut job to them. You're crazy. You're an outcast. You're a black sheep. Cool. Thank you. I don't want to be like everybody else. So, I gotta freaking go to bed. I've been busting my ass and I've been liking it. It works, so I'm all good. I just need to get some rest and take care of myself. I don't sleep good at night. I don't know, I think it's in the energy. I think it'll pass. It's like, part of my trauma of, oh shit, when's the shoe gonna drop? but also mixed with curiosity and excitement. So I'm like excited, but then hesitant and watchful, but excited because I feel like something's in the energy, that something's moving, the cycle's moving. Something fucking good is going to happen. Yeah, there might be something bad, little things along the way that are bummers for us, but there's something big's, like, life-changing shit's going to happen, I feel like. I can feel it, the energy in the air. I don't know when, but it's coming. It might seem terrible at first, but I feel like it's all going to work out. It's going to be cool. But anyway, like Chris Cornell said, to be yourself is all that you can do. And Chester Bennington said, to be more like me and less like you. Be yourself. Learn who you are, not who they say you are. And if there's something you don't like, or you're not sure what you need to fix, find that trusted person who will be honest with you because they love you, not because they're trying to hurt you. Know thyself. Know thyself so well that you can identify your shadows, your triggers, but you can also identify the bullshit when people try to convince you you're somebody you're not. When they try to tear you down, ruin your self-worth. They make you feel stupid. You know, whatever it is. Anything degrading. You'll never do that. You can't do this. You can't. Whatever it is for you. Whatever's in your environment that sucks the life out of you and brings you down. Unless they're little children and you can't really boot them out. Get it out of your life as soon as possible. I had a friend say, we were talking about it and we both agreed, so you need that alone time to know your own vibration. If you're constantly around people, how are you going to know your own energy when it's mixed up with everybody else's and it's fucking getting mixed into yours? How do you know who you are when you're just you? Take the time to develop yourself so you know yourself so well that when they try to counterfeit you into some other bullshit person, you can spot it a mile away like a counterfeit dollar. What do they say? The people who are trained to spot counterfeits. They're not trained by looking at all these counterfeits. They're trained by looking at the real thing so well, so deep. They study it, the real thing, that the counterfeit, slightest thing, and a counterfeit jumps right out at them because they know what's real so well. Does that make sense? We got to know ourselves so well that when somebody tries to feed us a line of shit about ourselves, we can spot their bullshit a mile away. Some people aren't calling us out on bullshit to be cruel. Some are just projecting things on us from their own wounds. And we can have compassion for that. But some people are just assholes. And they need to work on that, but they can work on that over there. Over there, away from me. My daughter just came in. I told her I was making a video and to come in quietly. But she didn't do it very quietly. She's got a shower. I gotta go to bed. Good night. I hope this resonates with somebody, somehow, some way, in my crazy head. For me to you, sweet dreams. Peace.